I am the self-help hacker. Here's something I was just randomly thinking about today. It's like there's certain weird stages you go through in life, and you don't want to be in that stage of life. But ultimately, it's like to get out of it, you have to figure out what the lesson is that you're supposed to learn. And a victim mentality would say, why do bad things happen to good people? Well, if that's the kind of thing that enters your mind, you might be in one of those weird stages. And you realize ultimately, well, that thing happened and it wasn't necessarily bad, but it just wasn't the thing I wanted. And the answer was, it was to make me stronger, both mentally and physically and spiritually, etc. And now that I've survived that weird stage in my life, I can help other people through that. But it's like, and it's almost like, when was I not going through a weird stage in my life? I mean, I feel like so much of my life, if I were to look at every 5 years or so, most of those stages were weird in their own way. It's funny because, like, okay, high school was cool. Like, I remember liking high school a lot, and junior high too, but okay. Then I got to college. Okay, college was cool, but it was like, when you're 20 years old, it's like you haven't graduated yet. You don't really know for sure what you're going to do for a career. You're definitely figuring out your identity. So it's kind of a weird in-between time. So that was weird. But ultimately, I learned more so what I was good at and bad at, so that by my early 20s, I could figure out how to make a career out of it. And ultimately, build my confidence through my skills, and ultimately meet the one I would marry. And then there you need more confidence and skills to be able to make a marriage last as long, for me, 11 years now, going on 12. It's like, so I'm just constantly changing and evolving, and, self-help hacker. That's why I do this stuff, because life is pretty weird. But like when you really segment it in 5-year groups, like I said in the other video, you become a new person every 5 years. And that's really been the case. It's funny because even finally, one of the weirdest ones is last year. If you happen to be one of the people watching my videos last year, I was truly going through an existential crisis, and no one could truly help me or relate to it. But I got to a point before the age of 35 where all of my life goals happened. Like, I got there. I did everything that I really wanted to do, and the motivational carrot, like a horse chasing the carrot, whatever it is, like, I didn't have that anymore because everything. And you think, oh, so you got to happily ever after status and everything worked out? Well, but I'm wired to always be doing something and building something and creating something. So I had to really reevaluate, what am I going to do for the second half of my life, even though my life is figured out and comfortable and great. But it's like, even financially, I wasn't motivated the same way, because when you get to a certain point in life, if you do things right, maybe around your late 30s, finances aren't the issue that they were in your early 20s and mid 20s and even early 30s. Like, you eventually get out of debt, and then you get to start, and then you start making more money anyway, and then you start investing that money and saving it, and like, so that was weird, but I feel that I learned a lot through it, and I got through it. So ultimately, it's a matter of, life is weird, and every stage of life, for the most part, has its own weird things about it. The main thing is, it's almost like Groundhog Day, which I've never seen and probably never will, but in the movie Groundhog Day, I guess the whole concept is you had to work things out the right way before you could get out of the thing. And I think that's how it is. You're going to move from one weird stage of like, why am I here? What's going on? What's the point of this? And then by the time you figure it out through trial and error, then you get to go to the next stage. And I win. And while most of the former problems went away now you got a new set of problems that you got to deal with. Like, that's how life is. It's a matter of it's constantly weird, and you evolve for the better, and your life improves. It's still weird, and you're still figuring out stuff all the time. If you don't, though, then you get stuck back here, and you don't get to move forward in life and have that rite of passage, which is why I'm here for you. Self-help hacker. I'm way ahead of you. I have all the answers. I have all the cheat codes that you need, the things that actually matter. I'm giving them to you early. You don't have to take as many risks as I took necessarily. You don't necessarily have to fail as many times as I failed in life. You don't necessarily even have to succeed as much as I have. Like, you can have the answers quicker. Now, granted, what that's going to do is speed you up to the next phase sooner than I probably lived through it. And maybe eventually we'll catch up. Maybe eventually you'll actually get ahead of me even though I'm still older than you. That would be interesting. Your comments are right here.